Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. What an international community. I am more than delighted that our university is able to host the second conference on the future Internet in connection with the European Initiative on Public-Private Partnership. I'd like to say a few words why by these two aspects fit very well with our own intentions at this university. But let me say a few words before on our university, TUM. TUM has been chartered in the year of 1868 when Bavaria and Germany started to develop industrially. People like Erlenmeyer and later Karl and also Karl von Linde, later Rudolf Diesel were among our early alumni. And the diesel engine still works, as you all know. Also, the jet turbine of airplanes was developed by Willy Messerschmitt at TUM. These days, the university certainly ranks among the leading universities in Germany and in Europe. We have been successful twice in the so-called Excellence Initiative of the Federal Republic and the German states. You know that universities belong to the respective state, so we are basically a Bavarian university. However, we have to prove ourselves on the international benchmarks, of course. There is a few figures that may convince you or not that we are doing okay. So, for example, the Shanghai ranking, which we normally have been the leading #1 in Germany, or 2 sometimes. There is some competition with the other Munich university, which has a different profile. So we are ranking around 50 worldwide. So this means there is still room for development uphill, no doubt. And just yesterday, the QS university ranking occurred, where we also are on some ranks like 50 or so, but among the first 3 in Germany once again. What may be even more interesting, actually, beyond the purely scientific ranking, where you count Nobel Prize winners and papers and citations and impact factors and so on, is the question, do we, being an excellent research university, train our people in the right way so that they are fitting for the labor markets, which are international markets, no doubt. And so I'm happy to say that the global employability ranking, where companies were asked who is doing the best training to the students, we got on rank 11 worldwide. And so this wonderful match of international visibility in research and in education is what makes me happy. Because scientific rankings alone, with numbers of journal citations, is only a small part of the truth. It may be central, but it's only a small part, because the important question is also how do we prepare our people for the world of tomorrow in their labor markets? Do we also, the question, do we train the best teachers of tomorrow? And these teachers will be in the surrounding of Munich and in Bavaria primarily. They are not trained for schools in California or in Shanghai. And also, how are the engineers doing that our alumni who join small companies right around Munich? And at the same time, do we produce outstanding scientists who hopefully someday get Nobel Prizes, although the latter ones are very rare, in matter of fact. We have a few, but could have more. Regarding the event of today, ladies and gentlemen, the university has consequently consequently widened its expertise in the IT sciences and has spurred the relations with companies. The latest report of the European Commission, as you all know, has stated that Munich is the IT hub #1 in Europe for various reasons. There were 40 different criteria, and if you sum them up, you find out that Munich is the prime place. Because there's outstanding universities, but there's stable industries around, there's a strong interaction between the center and the region, the so-called European metropolitan area, Munich, and there is venture capital around, and so on and so on. With regard to science, our university clearly is on the forefront. You are hosted by you are in the building of the departments of mathematics, which is as applied mathematics in our university, by reasons of our policy, by the way, and informatics, computer science. Together, round about 90 faculty members. In addition, there is strong information technologies and computer technologies in another department, once again comprising more than 40 faculty members. But also relevant activities are around here, like the Fraunhofer Institutes and other non-university research institutions. And for these reasons, taking into account that we are strongly interrelated with the industries, this is one of our strengths, which we use actually to further develop. Munich is an outstanding place of science, but it also is economically extremely strong. And our traditional partners are not only the BMWs and Siemens and the Linde. Actually, Linde is our first spin-off, by the way. Karl von Linde, the professor of 1868, chartered his company when he had invented the refrigerator. But he came, 10 years later, he came back to the university because he liked the life here, obviously. And then he invented yet another great thing, which is the air liquefaction. Okay. But these are our traditional partners, of course, over years and years, decades and decades. But also the small industries we are extremely interested in supporting and interacting with. And with our educational goals, we always ask ourselves the question, do we train these people also for the small companies? Are they general? Is their education general enough? So for this reason, our philosophy is very much centered around entrepreneurship. Actually, the Excellence Initiative that I mentioned before has the title TUM, the Entrepreneurial University. This is our motive, to be entrepreneurial and to think entrepreneurial. Not a company, but a scientific enterprise. Take your responsibility in your hands, make strategic plans, have clear ideas. Many universities don't have clear ideas, by the way. To have clear strategies, what is important, what is less important, and so on and so on. You do not need a lesson from me with regard to entrepreneurship. But since we transport the spirit in the university, many companies and many more have been formed and spinned off from our university and still coming, and I am very grateful to the Federal Ministry for supporting us under the roof of the Exist4 program, where we have been successful as well, interlinked with an associated institute called Unternehmertum, which in turn again was founded and is being financed by Mrs. Clutton, one of the main owners of BMW. So, entrepreneurship and IT, your intention, fit very well in what we are doing. The latest development here in Bavaria is a program, a political program called Digital Bavaria. It is to enforce the services, the internet services, the digitalized based services onto the various areas of applications which I have seen out in the hall. All of them we have in our program, from health, mobility to agro, and so on and so on. We are coordinating this program for Bavaria, and it will be hosted by TUM. Professor Manfred Breu, one of our outstanding software engineers, is a key person here together with me. The program is going to be, had already been announced by the Bavarian Prime Minister. It will be started early next year, in January next year. A couple €100 million will be invested by the state of Bavaria, including a building on the Garching campus, of course, because here is all the competences around, but it also will integrate the various pertinent strengths that have already been available in Bavaria. In other, also smaller universities, they will integrate them so that what is being done here can be multiplied in the entire country. Bavaria is a relatively large country with much rural area as well. So decentral activities are politically important, but you need a center of competence, a center of coordination, and that will take for Digital Bavaria here in Garching. Fortunately, there is some money around in Bavaria to further develop science and technology, but on the other hand, the money which is around is also spent in the right way. That's two important issues from which we benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it was a good idea that you decided to meet here in Garching. This gives you an opportunity of learning more about the research excellence of this place. Out of our presently 36,000 students, we have grown by a factor of 2 within the last 15 years. It's hardly doable, but it works. Strongly supported by new personnel and buildings from the state of Bavaria. Out of 36,000, around 13,000 students are here on this campus every day. Our university has around about 500 faculty, which is a growth of around 30% in the past 10 years. And we have just introduced a comprehensive tenure-track faculty recruitment principle as the first German university to change its recruiting policy. And that makes us extremely attractive for outstanding young brain, also German young brain, presently working elsewhere, like in Stanford. We just hired somebody from Harvard, from MIT, and so on. Because in the tenure-track system, you start small and little, but you have an opportunity to grow and raise and climb up in the hierarchy of the faculty. So this makes us attractive. I think we are good in various aspects. We can be good partners of you. Think about Tom. I will arrange the right people to speak to you if there is interest, and otherwise I wish you 2 good days. I think it's a 2-day conference in Munich. Also, please, you should see the beer hall. Unfortunately, they have not time enough to have a look at the wonderful countryside which is around Munich, the lakes and the mountains, which makes it so beautiful to live here in Munich, which I will never leave again in my life. Thank you.